not live yet, just FYI. Now we are.
Okay. Again, we apologize for the delay. I'd like to open up the meeting June 8th, 2021 at 5:25 p.m. And we'll start off this regular meeting with the roll call. Board members, please.
Desiree Fowler, Board Clerk.
Dee McCary, member.
Chuck Weiss, board member.
Thank you.
Andrea Kidman.
And Bob Candelaria. And Superintendent Wallen, please address yourself. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good to see you. And then we've got Mrs. Lynn Hoffman, our board executive assistant. And again, thank you to all our guests coming in. And the second order of business, let's join in a moment of silent meditation, please. Okay, thank you very much. And hey, welcome back, Chuck Weiss. And you just got done with some duty in San Diego. And so we thank you for your service. And I asked you if you would please to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. Appreciate that very much. Next item of business, the approval of the agenda. I'll need a motion in a second, please.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I second.
Second that motion.
Thank you. We've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye and indicate.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Next item of business, comments. And would you please read the statement, Ms. Fowler?
Definitely. Public comments concerning facility service personnel and instructions are not heard by the board until the district due process procedures are followed. Forms for filing complaints are available at the superintendent's office. To address the board, please fill out a blue card and give to the superintendent. The board reserves the right to limit public comments due to time restriction.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Fowler. And we haven't updated this, but I'll just, we do receive these by comment, two comments at pageud.org, and they're sent to the office. And so we have quite a few, as I understand, and I've asked Mrs. Hoffman to read those for us, if you would. And again, you're on. Lynn, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The first comment is from a student, Nolan McCormick. He states, "Dear school board members, today I asked the opportunity to continue having off-campus lunch for many reasons. First of all, I want it because I eat much healthier food. For example, during my 9th grade year, I would come home from school and eat burritos or salads most of the time. On the other hand, this year I packed my lunch due to my dislike of the school's lunch. Usually my packed lunch had the following: a roll, juice, and chips and crackers. This led me to not eating healthy, balanced foods, as well as not enough food to last me throughout the rest of the school and through practices. Off-campus lunch also gave me time to get away from school in the middle of the day and come back ready to learn. Occasionally, off-campus lunch also gave me the opportunity to go out to eat with some friends to build better relationships and increase my social skills. Off-campus lunch did one thing that was more important than any others. It gave me the motivation to go to school every day. I remember back as an 8th grader, there was nothing more exciting than the thought of the school letting me go off campus to eat the next year. Last school year without off-campus lunch made it hard to even want to come. Another year of this would be painful and hard on students' morale. Every student in this school I've talked to prefers off-campus lunch, which brings up the question, which is more important, the student's opinion or the administration's that would have no power if there were no students? One of your 4.0 students, Nolan McCormick. The second comment is from Kelly Hansen, PUSD School Board. I am writing to voice my concern because I do not agree with the closed campus lunch for high school. It is known that a very small amount of the students are participating in drugs, alcohol, and theft and truancy related to open campus. In reality, if these kids desire to do this, they will find a way, whether an open or closed campus. We can't allow these behaviors of kids to punish and control the majority. My child has enjoyed coming home with friends for lunch in the past, where they can eat good, healthy food and engage in wholesome conversation and activities. Furthermore, my daughter has recently been diagnosed with several food allergies and therefore is restricted in her diet. If she is able to still come home for lunch, I could ensure she is eating healthy, appropriate, and healthy food. I hope you will consider an open campus for high school. Thank you for your time. The next comment is from Clinton McCormick regarding open campus lunch. Page High School students should continue to receive the privilege of open campus lunch. At the last school board meeting, you were presented with skewed data that presented a false picture with the need to close campus. Please review the numbers of problem behaviors presented as reasons to close campus more closely. Last board meeting, you heard big scary numbers like 1,559 tardy and truancy, 69 incidents of drug use, 37 incidents of theft, 21 incidents of alcohol use and or possession. I hope you also pay attention to the smaller points on the slideshow. The small print, please reference back if you missed it. All of these numbers were totaled from the past 6 years and were taken from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., not just the lunch break. The big scary numbers are misleading data. Let's break down these numbers. 1,559 over 6 years, 180 school days equals 1.443 tardy truant students per day between 11 and 1. Less than 2 students were late or truant. These time frames include not only lunchtime, but the entire 2-hour block straddling it. Therefore, if students were tardy/truant from student advisory prior to lunch, it was included in this data. 69 incidents of drug use and or possession divided into about 1 per month throughout the entire high school. 21 incidents of alcohol divides into 3 per year, less than 1 per quarter. 37 incidents of theft breaks into 1 every 2 months. It was not stated if that number included on or off campus theft. If it is reporting on campus theft, however, how is campus closure going to help? When these problem behavior numbers are total and averaged by month, it shows that less than 5% of the student population display negative behaviors in the hours of 11 a.m. to 1. That is extremely low and does not warrant closing campus. Please do not be led into taking the privilege of open campus lunch away from over 95% of the student population who have shown they are responsible with it. The next one is regarding open campus lunch, and it is from Rebecca McCormick. Hello, school board members and district administration. Tonight you will be discussing high school lunch and if it should be open campus, as in years prior to 2020, 2021, or closed. I'm asking you to please consider keeping campus open at lunch. My son came home for lunch throughout the duration of his 9th grade year, and it was huge. It was a huge benefit to his school experience. At the last school board meeting, Ann Martin mentioned that she feels open campus lunch disrupts the school day. To this statement, I would like to say yes. Thank goodness for this reason, we should continue with open campus. Because of open campus, my son was able to process anything positive or negative that happened at school in the morning with me and distance himself from school to have a mental reset in preparation for the remainder of the day. Many times last year, we returned to in-person learning. He said to me, I don't even want to be at school now that I can't come home at lunch. According to this district belief statement number 4, published on the district website, parental involvement is important in improving student achievement. A belief statement published in the high school academic guidelines is education is a shared responsibility among staff, students, families, and communities. How are these belief statements possibilities how are these statements possibilities with student lunch success if you are discussing closing campus in the summer months and few parents are aware? As a mother, I know that the best place for my son during lunch is in my home. I know he eats healthy as he will not eat school lunch. I know he is provided a mental break, and most importantly, it provides rare time for us to be together. The next is a comment from Ryan Redshirt, and he states in there, I was told to email about off-campus lunch. I am in favor. Kids need the food options to support local business. An email from Martha Begay to our PUSD board members. I am writing in regards to the school buildings being leased to the charter school. I am a fellow parent, grandparent of children in the district. I think the charter school is a good idea. Like Des pointed out in the last meeting, the district is not for everyone. It should be though. So Des, how can PUSD do better? I don't think it's a great idea for the charter school to be on campus with our district. The district will already be losing students and staff to the new Christian school opening in August. They already have a few staff members who left the district working there. Those numbers of students moving over are not in your revenue lost. Mrs. Kidman made an excellent point of why would you put a business in direct competition on your grounds that you are leasing. There's tons of empty buildings in Page that could easily be used to fund their school. It sounds like they have the funding. It's going to be like Walmart supplying Target a spot in their store. They obviously know Target will get the most funding because it's appealing, though it is the same product to an extent. My other concern about leasing the building out is the preschool will be directly involved. Why are our young ones affected the most with this? Every research suggests the first 5 years are so important, especially when considering student achievement and parent involvement. The first 5 years of a child's life can determine the next 80. Currently, I think the early childhood program is amazing. If you've not watched the work the staff members do there, I think you're not going to see the whole picture. I've been there for their parent involvement days, and I saw how quick thinking the teachers are. I also saw the tools that they use to teach the little ones. I'm always in awe of how engaging they are to 15 or more 3 and 4 year olds. They have students with learning disabilities who are engaged in learning in the same environment as their peers. With this move, the preschoolers would lose their building to be put where? I heard Lakeview in 2 classrooms. This is appalling. In the Navajo culture, our young ones are seen as holy people, and to think the future of this program is up for discussion is disheartening. They should be given more respect than what I'm seeing and hearing from our board members. Do not treat our preschoolers like dead weight or loss of revenue. Instead, be the one who supports our young ones and the future students in the district with a vote of no. Thank you for your time and consideration. The next one is from MJ Wheeler. I am writing to show support for the charter school to lease space. The school is going to lose students, no doubt. At least there will be some compensation to the district for the loss of students. I don't think the district is rolling out the red carpet as suggested by Ms. Kidman during the last meeting, but being financially responsible is one of the board's biggest responsibilities, and at least the district will recoup a small amount of money versus none. If teachers are leaving the school, perhaps it is best for the teacher and the district. I, much like many others, hear rumors, but that does not mean that they are true. Some individuals have behaved very poorly in recent months. You see them outside board meetings. The signs that they have their children holding says it all. I thought bullying was discouraged. What I do know is that I do not work there, so I really do not know anything other than what I have observed. The last few board meetings have been interesting. There is one board member who is behaving very badly, and you all know who it is. This behavior reflects on the entire board, and I am shocked that you are allowing it to continue. The school district has been in a bad place for the last several years, and something has to change. The last superintendent did not leave the district in a good place, and the grades at all the schools were going down prior to the pandemic for several years. Let Mr. Wallen attempt to fix what is broken. You as a board hired him and you need to support him in spite of the bad behavior of your fellow board members and the people gathering on the streets. The next comment is from Nicholas Smith. As a resident of Page with 3 children in PUSD, I support GCOA and school choice. The next comment is from Amy Payne. And she says, hello, I am writing to express my fervent support of PUSD leasing building space at Glen Canyon Space to Glen Canyon Outdoor Academy. I believe a partnership between these 2 schools would greatly benefit the children and their families here in Page by offering a variety of learning techniques to help empower all students to prosper and by building an even stronger community that works together to help support the next generation as they shape our future. Thank you in advance for your diligent work behind the scenes to help Page students thrive in school and for considering this alliance between PUSD and GCOA. Sincerely, Amy Payne. The next comment is from Christy Lewandowski. I, Christy Lewandowski, support the lease for the GCOA charter school. I have 2 kiddos who will be attending. The next comment is from Whitney Wirtz, and this one is regarding open campus lunch. Hi, Page School Board members. I'm writing in regards to voice my opinion on the high school campus remaining open for lunch. I grew up being able to go home for lunch every day with my family and have great memories of doing that. I'd love to be able to make this memory with my kids here in Page. Thank you for your time, Whitney Wirtz. The next comment is from Amy Beanfeld. To whom it may concern, I support the lease of building space to GCOA. I feel that leasing the space will greatly benefit the public school district, allowing a consistent income over time and preventing other budget cuts that may hurt the student experience. Thank you. The next comment is from Tori Ashton, Red Shirt. Hello, I support and encourage the leasing of space to GCOA. I'm not sure if we would send our kids there or not, but a variety of options can only help the students in our area. Oh, and this says, thanks, Victoria Redshirt. So it's from Victoria Redshirt. Sorry about that. And I already read this one, so that's it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hoffman. And again, thank you for all your comments. We really appreciate that. And so let's go ahead and move on to our next order of business. It's special business, and it has to do with donations. We have none, so we'll move on to our reports section of the agenda. And first, governing board reports. Anybody have something they would like to report? Ms. McCary? No. Mrs. Fowler? Ms. Sandra, go ahead.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Surely.
Okay, great. I just wanted to congratulate the preschool on the grant they received. I heard about, and I think it's very exciting. So good job.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Mr. Weiss. Oh, not much. Okay. All right. Very, very good. Okay. I'm going to go
Can
ahead
I
and pass.
report? I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. You deferred. And so now you have the option. Yes.
Awesome. So I do want to congratulate all the recent graduates from Page Unified School District, seniors. Thank you for the invitation. I did attend the Mansa Mesa graduation, and also I attended the ASBA retreat last month as well. For that reason, I wasn't able to attend the Page High School graduation, and what is the other one? Sage and Sands Academy graduation as well too. And then I also was invited to attend the ADA ESSER Task Force, Equitable Effective School Task Force. So that was the first meeting that I attended just on June 2nd. And it was good to have some inside knowledge. So I thank Mrs. Woods for the information that she shared with me. And I'm looking forward to our second meeting with ADA and to talk more about ESSER and see what comes out of that. So hopefully I'll have some information to share next month. And then also yesterday and today was the National School Board Association Advocacy Institute online 2021 confirmation. So I did not participate, but I am looking forward to listening to all the recordings that took place with the Advocacy Day as well, and looking forward to the summer annual leadership that's going to take place this Friday online through the Arizona School Board Association. So more so, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Fowler. Appreciate that. And I'll just add my congratulations to, I want to say the high school right now, because these are the kids. I love seeing them do their walk around the campuses, and they were in the bus and they were in their literally their graduation gowns, and all the kids were lined up on the fences and all of that kind of thing. So it was kind of awesome to see that. And I love traditions, and those are great traditions, but the accomplishments of the senior class, thank you so much. And to Mrs. Martin and the staff there, 90% graduation rate. And we're really working hard towards that B designation, but F, D, or C, that's what we are right now. We got to look at it straight in the face and say, that's not what we want to be, but we do want to graduate 90% plus of our kids, and that'll match with any school in the state. And we've done that for 3 or 4 or 5 years in a row. So I'm real proud of that for sure. And so again, congratulations. And I'll say a hearty farewell to Mrs. Covington. She sent us a very, very nice, I guess, parting letter if it was, and great celebration, the accomplishments and those kind of things at the middle school. And we just wish her the best in her next position. So to Elisa Covington, thank you so much. Superintendent Wallen.
Thank you. I'd like to share my screen. You should be able to see our June newsletter on there with the graduates that both Ms. Fowler and Mr. Candelaria have been talking about. That's totally awesome to see our kids moving forward. I keep wondering how they get these necklaces with these dollars in all these different shapes and forms, but tremendous. So this is our June newsletter. We're celebrating all the things that have happened this year. Mr. Law, our public relations person, has done a great job putting this together despite all the COVID-19 things that have been happening. The board corner was awesome. And Mr. Candelaria, I didn't know you wanted to go to Australia and New Zealand. That's cool.
Yes, I was robbed of that one.
Yep. And so those are in there. This was sent out by School Messenger today. Congratulations to Dr. Hubble and the Sand and Sage Virtual Academy celebrates their first graduating class. Tremendous job and a great way to get out there and do that. Manson Mesa High School had 2 graduates. Tremendous job. We're very glad to see those students complete their education and move on into their career path. And then the commencement at the high school was done very well. Was very, very pleasing to watch and see the high school. The valedictorians, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, totally awesome. Was a great, great, great speeches that they gave. And so as you look down, we begin with that. Then we have a couple of congratulations to 2 people who won the Patty Laverne Award. Then scholarships and distinctions, as you said, we have a 90% class graduation rate, and that is totally awesome. And the class of 2021 was awarded more than $2.6 million in scholarships. $2.6 million. It recognizes in this publication the top 10%, the class of 21 academic lettering, the CTE completers was awesome. That's where they're getting into the world of work, and they have finished their workplace competencies and makes academic content accessible to the students. And looking back even further for celebrations this year, our championships, Sand Devils basketball takes state. Lady Sand Devils win their 3rd championship in 4 years. Winter Guard brings home 3 superiors. Again, congratulations to all the students who participated. Avid, awesome work on developing students' support for college and career readiness. That is just tremendous. And then we need to call these guys out. These are scholarships that were awarded to students. The Stephen F. Ward Scholarship, the NGS Academic and Vocational Scholarship, Canyon Club of Page Scholarship, Chief Manuelito candidates, Lake Powell Balloon Regatta scholarships, there were 3 of them, The Dixie Lower Antelope Canyon Tour Scholarship, outstanding. Thank you, community, for supporting our graduates. Thank you for putting these out there. Then we had a track and field day there the last week of school. Look at these kids. Don't they look like they're excited? Don't they look like they're happy? This is totally awesome. That was a Des review. Oh my gosh. And then we have this kid named Max Martin who set a record on the leap of 4'3", breaking the previous record. And then Anthony Darko, again, setting another record. Middle school track and field day to finish the year. Looks to me like they had a great job too. Employees of the month, Wendy Gilbert, Olivia Benally, Ben Dalton, Sharon Draper, congratulations. Glad to see you're there. And then mark your calendars. Mark your calendars. June the 16th, 11 to 3, spring registration blitz in front of the CAB courtyard. Barbecue. Barbecue will be available. All schools will have booths available for information. There'll be CTE, athletes, other programs there. Someone told me there's a dunk tank, Mr. Candelaria, Mr. Weiss, and I think the three of us are supposed to arm wrestle for who gets in that dunk tank. We'll see if that shows up or not. But let's get out there and support our spring registration and put that together. So we'll stop sharing. And then just summer school, we got 350 kids participating at this point. We're planning for the new school year, and we're planning for acceleration. You'll see a lot of publicity out there about learning loss and those kinds of things. And yes, that happened. But here's the thing to think about. Grade level standards are still the same. We still have third grade standards, fourth grade standards, fifth grade standards. Yeah, the students had a tough time this past year, but we had extraordinary teachers working with them, doing a fantastic job. And so they're going to go on to the next grade level. That means they're going to enroll in that fourth grade or fifth grade or sixth grade standards. And so in order to help them and meet that need, we are devising a plan called acceleration. We want to accelerate them to grade level, accelerate them to that A school so that we can make a difference. So we're in the process of planning that. Just met today with the administrators, and we are preparing for a new school year. And one of the things, parents, I would suggest to you, two things actually. One, sit down and read with your son or daughter, have them read to you actually, and have them read to you and then ask them, what did you read? 20 minutes a day will help cause that student to be functioning at grade level. And the same thing with math. Get some math problems, go on Khan Academy and experience 20 minutes of math per day. That will help us accelerate the students to grade level so that next year in 2022, when we face the AZ Merit Test, students, when you face the AZ Merit Test, you will kick butt. So with that, thank you, Mr. Candelaria.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm really excited about that dunk tank, but you're not going to get me in there. If you do, we're going to have a crane on standby just to get me out. So, hey, just telling you. All right, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and move on. No unfinished business. And then item number 6, the governing board consent agenda. Mrs. Fowler, would you read our statement, please?
A copy of the consent agenda is available at the district administration office. All items listed will be considered as a unit by the governing board and will be approved with one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items unless a board member requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered as a separate item.
Thank you very much. This is an action, a motion and a second, please.
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
1 second. On that consent agenda, we're asking that you remove item 6H 501, which is the resignation of Richard Tamberg. You already dealt with that in the previous meeting on May.
Okay, thank you.
So if you would please remove that item, it was placed on there by mistake.
So done, and thank you for alerting us to that. All right, I need a motion in a
Okay.
second. Yes, go ahead.
We got to restate the whole motion, I
Okay.
believe.
All right, thank you very much.
You want me to make it?
Yes, please.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the agenda and also remove the item that was just mentioned.
I second that motion.
Larry, could you please clarify the item again?
I'm asking the board to remove from the consent agenda item 6H, number 501, which is the resignation of Richard Tamberg. This was inadvertently placed on the agenda. He was non-renewed during the May 11th regular meeting.
Okay, thank you. We do have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much. Let's go ahead and move on to the next item of business. Let me see if I can get through this to calendar of events. That's item number 7. And you have been given a calendar of events. You can notice in there what was mentioned in the highlight registration blitz with barbecue. And so let's take a look at that one. And any other things that the board members would like to highlight?
Larry, I do want to ask if you could also highlight the days that they are going to be visiting the chapter houses this summer to do some
Yes,
summer
give me
recruitment.
just a second, and I can do that.
We do have June 23rd, June 30th as tentative dates on here for a registration blitz.
I don't have that.
Right.
I don't have that.
Yeah, I think it's on our calendar of events, June 23rd, June 30th. Okay, we got it. All right, good. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and move on to the next item. We've got additional items on the agenda, item 8, and we'll start with the certified meet and confer agreement for 2021-2022. This is an action item. We'll need motion in a second so we can discuss.
I make a motion to approve the certified meet and confer agreement for the 2021 through 2022 school year.
I second the motion.
Thank you, Chuck. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Superintendent Wallen, please.
Mr. President and members of the board, this is a item that was meet and confer proposal per policy between the Page Educational Association and Page Unified School District. It has a provision for calendar, workday, lunch preparation period, loss of planning period stipend, early release, parent-teacher conferences, national teacher certification, travel between buildings, classroom site fund, payout, and insurance, increased compensation benefit, PEA quarterly blackout dates, committee of the district, and the last item on there is to, if we have an increase in enrollment, to reopen negotiations on possible salary increases for this year. And that is signed by Ms. Anna Wood and Carolyn James. Mr. Meyer, Dr. Meyer was our district spokesperson, and my signature. And I recommend that the board approve the certified meet and confer document.
Okay, very good. Any comments or questions, board members? Are we good? Yes, go ahead, Ms. Skidman.
I just would ask that we're informed if any of these agreements need to be changed throughout the year, that there's a report to the board. That's all.
Okay. Very, very good. And again, I'd just like to thank the PEA and also Superintendent Wallen for working through these issues. And what I'm excited about is, we've got some money at this point at our disposal that we're going to be able to use and to help in terms of teachers and various things like that. So thank you so much. All right. We've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Item B, classified meet and confer agreement for the 2021-2022 school year. Larry Wallen, this is an action item. Sorry, action item. I'll ask for a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve the certified meet and confer proposal for the 2020, is that supposed to be 2021 through 2022 school year?
And this is classified. Could you amend?
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, classified.
Okay, so it's an approval for the classified meet and confer. Is that your motion?
just has a different title or reading here on this particular page. So a motion
Okay.
to approve the classified meet and confer proposal for the 2021 and 2022 school year.
Okay, thank you. Need a second,
I,
please?
I second that motion.
Thank you, Ms. McCary. Okay, Superintendent Wallen.
Mr. President, members of the board, again, this is negotiations between the classified support staff, Dr. Meyer and myself, representing the district, and it involves insurance that the district will pay the full premium cost for medical insurance for an employee. Salary increase of 25 cents per hour for all support staff. Then to spend this year as the study year of a concept called equal distribution of classified pay. Right now, employees are paid hourly for only the hours worked, and they would like to see us try to figure out a way to equalize the pay across pay periods so that they get paid the same amount. And that used to be the case about 10 or 15 years ago. So we will work on that with them. An increased compensation of an ESSER retention stipend. Annually evaluate 1/4 of the classified employee groups, meetings, professional development. And again, if there's an increase in student enrollment, that we would look at reopening negotiations. We
Thank you very
recommend
much.
the board approve this item.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions, board members?
Yeah, same thing. And that's the last one. I would like to know as a board member if there's any changes made to the meet and confer agreements throughout the year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? I think we're good. All right, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. Item number C, professional development payouts for 2020, 2021 school year. This is an action item and I'll need a motion and a second.
I make a motion to approve the professional development payout for the 2020 through 2021 school year.
Thank you. Ms. McCary, could you unmute, please?
I'll second that motion on professional development payout for 2020, 2021.
That's going to be, yeah, thank you very much. Okay, very good. We've got a motion and a second, Superintendent Wallen.
Mr. President, members of the board, this is the professional development plan this year, the payouts. It comes out of Fund 12 from Prop 301 for professional growth for the teachers listed in the document from Desert View, Lakeview, Page High School, and Page Middle School. We recommend approval of the 301 payout.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Go ahead. Ms. Goodman.
Okay, I was looking through those numbers and they seemed a lot lower than usual. So I didn't have the old ones with me. So I was wondering if you could tell us if they are actually lower and why, if that's the case. Seems like in the past our payouts were much higher.
Well, if you recall, this has been a COVID year, so participation has been different as a result of that. I don't know about the past. I only know from July 1 this year forward.
Okay, thank you. And then can we get a report on how much money we have in Fund 12 in the 301 prop money? Like how much, because doesn't it roll over if it doesn't get paid out?
Yes,
the
ma'am.
next
It's not
year?
reversionary fund. However, the legislature and the governor has signed a bill that will take, there's 3 buckets, 12, 11, 12, and 13. Those buckets now will be dissolved by legislative action. So there'll be only one fund, and then we will be working with our employees, certified employees, to set up a new 301 plan based on that change in funding.
So do the funds roll over into that one bucket or?
They'll all roll over into one bucket, yes.
Okay, thank you. And can we get a like a printout and see how much money is in there
Sure.
left over after the payout? Okay, thank you.
I think you have one more payout coming at the next board meeting.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, no other comments or questions. I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you much. Item D, media specialist position, job description and job description. This is an action item.
I make a motion to approve the media specialist position and job description for same.
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. We have motion and a second. Superintendent Wallen.
Mr. President, members of the board policies does in order to increase positions or move positions that we need to submit a job description and a request. Both elementary principals have requested as part of their new literacy proposal, and we'll be giving you more information as that rolls out. We want to turn the libraries into media specialist centers, and so they would be run by media specialists. We're requesting approval of the job description and 2 employee positions that would work in those positions. And one of the pieces I know that is definitely going to be in there is part of the Renaissance 360 program that we run is Accelerated Reader. And we're going to be re-energizing and revamping that program. Accelerated Reader is a reading program that's based on Lexiles. Books are labeled, and then students can go in and find out their Lexile number, and they can go get books that they can read, and then it keeps moving them forward as they progress. So it's part of our literacy program that we will be giving you more information on as we go forward.
Right. I'll just say I really like to see the genesis of where we are at this point, because these used to be librarians, and now the whole
Thing has changed.
Yeah, the whole career path has changed because of what we're dealing with in terms of resource, and just really excited about this position integrated with a literacy aspect. So thank you. Any other comments or questions? Okay, none. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next order of business, Director of Opportunity Achievement, job position and job description, action item.
I make a motion to approve the Director of Opportunities and Achievement position and job description for the same.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. Superintendent Wallen.
Mr. President, members of the board, this is part of the reorganization at the district level. This position will replace our past Director of Curriculum and Instruction, and this position will be focused on an instructional leader, building a strong community, intensely focused on student learning versus teaching. It will involve development of an instructional infrastructure. It will involve student achievement, and staff development will all be moved through this position. And it's about building opportunity. It also complements another item that'll come up called the talent management piece.
Okay.
So we're requesting approval of this position, authorization for one position.
And once again, the change of the org chart is, I think, exciting because it's incorporating a lot of things that have come out of our engaging with Project Elevate, and how do you move the needle and those kind of things. So again, thank you very much. Any comments or questions? Okay, having none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, next item F is Director of Talent Management, job position and description. This is an action item.
The board, this is part of our
We need a
hold on.
motion and
I'm
a
sorry.
second, please.
I make a motion to approve the Director of Talent Management position and job description for same.
I
Thank you.
second.
Okay, motion and a second. Superintendent Wallen.
Mr. President, members of the board, sorry. This is a position, again, that's part of that reorganization, taking the HR position and turning it into talent management. This position will focus on supporting the overall administration, design, implementation, and communication of the district's holistic talent system, ensuring the right people are in the correct positions to help achieve organizational goals. It will include careful analysis and workforce planning, So for example, we would be working ahead to determine possible vacancies so that we're not out there competing like right now with everybody else. Workforce planning, strategic recruiting and hiring. We'd set up those pathways with major universities and good efforts to retain employees through working conditions that ensure engagement, support, growth, and development, leading to an empowered and motivated high quality staff. And the big piece of this is the recruitment is planned and intentional, and it's an ongoing process. Selection and hiring is updated and upping our game so that we get the highest talent that's possible for our paid students. Retention planning so that we're looking ahead and saying, what do we need to do to retain those people who want to stay with us? New leader and teacher induction, the evaluation system, and then general responsibilities. We believe this will be a great addition to our district leadership team. We're requesting the approval of the job description plus one authorized FTE.
And I know that we've talked a lot about raising up our own and those kind of things. That goes kind of hand in hand with that as well. Yeah, again, this is just a genesis of a position that we've had, but it expands it to a whole different place, I guess, a whole different platform. So any comments or questions? Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Skidman.
Okay, I believe we've done all this before. I mean, we spent many hours on recruitment and hiring in previous years. So to me, this is nothing new. We've done all this before. The only thing that I see new in there is that that person's also, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I noticed it said, where is it? Oversees employee disciplinary meetings. And I was just wondering how that would look like and if we need to change any of our policies, if that is actually a new thing.
You want me to answer? Well, first of all, I beg to differ with you. This is a very different concept than HR. HR is a function of processing payroll and applications and paperwork. This is about recruiting and planning ahead. This is about taking a very different approach to job postings, building connections with the major universities and pathways in-state and out-of-state. You know, a retention or selection recruitment now is taken on. It's more electronic than it's ever been before. So we post to a variety of electronic locations to try to bring in the best people. For example, one of the things that goes with this is the selection and hiring. And we have identified hiring committees at each of our school sites. So once a application is screened and determined that that person is qualified, then we ask those sites to do a behavioral interview, which is very different than what we've done in the past, specific to the school environment in which the candidate will work. Then when the candidate is selected, the hiring teacher, principal, submits a recommendation that says this is the person's qualifications. These are experiences that support the qualifications. And this is how that person is going to fit into our organization. This is how they're going to fit as a middle school teacher, as a high school teacher, as an elementary teacher. So it's a very different approach. I'm sorry to differ with you on that.
Can I ask you, could you explain what a behavioral interview is?
I'm sorry?
Could you explain what a behavioral interview is? You mentioned the term behavioral interview.
Yes, I can. So for example, when you're in the interview, I can say, tell me what curriculum revision looks like. And that person can throw out anything they want to. A behavioral interview is that, would you please describe when you were involved in curriculum revisions wherever you worked? That's an example of a behavioral question. Can you describe when you had to excite your employees about a new initiative? Or I can say, well, what's your belief about exciting employees? So it's asking that person to describe the behaviors that they have worked with over the course of their career, because those behaviors will appear in the job next and will also drive that behavior for that new employee. It's a significantly different way of interviewing people, and it creates a much better quality relationship in terms of selecting people.
Okay, thank you. That explains a lot.
Thank you very much. Any other questions, comments?
I just want to say thank you for the clarification, Mr. Wallen.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item G, Coordinator of Assessment and Program Evaluation Position and Job Description. This is an action item.
I make a motion to approve the Coordinator of Assessment and Program Evaluation position and job description for same.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Superintendent Wallen, please.
Mr. President, members of the board, this is a critical position that supports the Director of Opportunity and Achievement, because that opportunity and achievement will be based on our district level data. And Ms. Kidman, do you remember when I showed you the Performance Matters program? Do you remember what you saw on that screen?
Oh, you talk about the Power School
The Power
Performance
School
Matters
edition
show?
called Performance Matters.
Oh yeah, you showed me that you can dig into every student's data. You can look at every teacher and how students performed on individual tests. And you showed me that you can basically evaluate teachers on how they're doing based on every single little test they take and every assessment they give to their students. It's extremely detailed.
It's a very detailed. And today, for example, yesterday in our training on implementing Performance Matters, we worked on interventions. So if I need to identify, the data goes up, we establish an intervention schedule. If I need to know all sixth graders who've missed 15 days of school, who have received an F in English, boom, 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 I can have that list in the hands of the principal and the staff to do that. So it's a huge amount of work to manage the assessment database and then train teachers on how to use it. This also complements our beyond textbook curriculum framework, where every week students receive common formative assessments. Those come through the Performance Matters, get pushed out to the teacher. Students take the test, and it comes back into the Performance Matters. Teacher logs in, loads up, and there's the data already analyzed for them, ready for them to be able to make decisions on, did the teachers pass their assessment? Did they learn that standard, or did they not learn that standard? And, one of the things we're loading up right now, we just opened our AZ Merit scores today. And so as soon as we get those in, they'll go in that system and we will be able to slowly analyze that data. If you recall, Ms. Kidman, I also showed you the 2019 data that we had, and algebra looked okay, but then we went to algebra 2, and all of a sudden there was like a huge number of kids showing proficient and highly proficient in algebra 2. Somebody did a really great job. So we need to be able to identify those trends and be able to go out and support and cause that to happen in all the other areas as well. So it's taking that data and making it come alive and be a part of that. It's collecting, analyzing, creating the visual presentations on a daily basis almost, looking at that data and driving it. So it's really, really important to our school improvements efforts and becoming an A district.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments?
I just wanted to comment. Thank you for sharing that, Larry. I think that was a really good program that our school district can definitely benefit from, especially our students and our teachers.
Okay, thank you very much. We do have a motion second. I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Aye, thank you. Next on the agenda is the charter school lease. And this is a recommend that we have a discussion and then an action item. Is that appropriate to do?
Yes. Can I make a motion to discuss
with possible action?
With a possible
correct?
action, yes.
Okay. I need a second. Okay. You were muted, sir. I'm sorry.
I second.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, this one's open for discussion. Superintendent Wallen.
Mr. President, members of the board, let me kind of give the narrative leading up to this. On April the 7th, I had talked to several times with the Glen Canyon Outdoor Academy leadership about the possibility of leasing space on the Page High School side of D building, which would include entrance and offices. And they were asking about a term of lease for 8 years. In relation to that, the Academy, oops, it left my screen. I had their charter pulled up, is a experiential academy, and they want to start a charter school. They have been approved by the charter board, and they want to open in a year from now and be in that and lease that building. We talked about the lease in space, $1.10 per square foot for 11,000 square feet. We talked about a food service agreement, just as we have with Sayato School. We talked about possibly some transportation cooperation and some other future items for discussion related to that. And so that's what we're looking at. Let me state that we discussed this meeting in the May 23rd board study session, the proposed received from the charter school requesting to lease space. I believe Mr. Walker and a few of the charter school board members are present and wish to speak before the board votes on the matter. But I would like to clear up a few inaccuracies that I have been told are floating around on the social media. First, there's consideration of the charter school lease does not include the preschool building. It is my intent to move the preschool to Lakeview because that is where I feel it belongs. Regardless of how the board votes on the lease issue, I will be moving forward with that transition for the preschool to become a part of the Lakeview Elementary School. I've been told that statements are being made that are leading people to believe that the preschool would lose its grant funding. Absolutely not true. I would encourage anyone with concerns to contact me, and I'll be glad to talk to them about the preschool and how that works. So, Mr. President and members of the board, you may want to, we do have a couple of the charter school representatives on here. I believe that when you read the call to the public, you had about 5 or 6 comments in supporting the charter school movement. Mr. President, I believe you have Ms. Pinkleton, and I'm sorry, Amy, it just shows Amy B. And then Susan, if you would let them have and Mr. Walker, let them have an opportunity to speak.
Okay, I know Mr. Walker asked to speak, and good to see you, Susan and Amy. Good to see you there. And so Mr. Walker, and however you guys want to proceed.
And thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to have this discussion with you. I do have a brief PowerPoint prepared, if that's appropriate, to share to kind of hopefully explain some of the things that we're asking for. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So again, thank you for giving us this opportunity. I'll just explain quickly just some general information just so everyone has the same understanding, because as Mr. Wallen has pointed out, there's a lot of different things floating around. Our charter school did receive our approval from the State Board of Charter Schools on December 9th of 2019 to run the program that we have turned into them. We are planning on opening our doors in August of 2022. We have pushed this back a few years, some because of COVID and various other reasons, but we are now ready to open in 2022. Again, our focus is not a traditional model. It's expeditionary learning with the outside and culturally relevant curriculum. You can see there, just in case you have any questions about like our enrollment caps, that is a 3-year timeline for the grades. We eventually want to be K through 8, but we'll be adding as you can see during that year. And the numbers that you see there on the bottom are in what we foresee as enrollment caps during those 3 years. So to give you those numbers to help, just kind of help you have a better idea. One thing that has propelled us forward to definitely be able to open is that we were awarded the Arizona CSP grant. It is a charter school startup and expansion grant for charter schools that are getting started or starting or expanding. And that grant came to about 1.25 million over the 5 years. We began that grant in January of this year and are in an 18-month planning period now to get started. We have a couple of partners that we've been working with on facilities development. The Charter School Development Center, they provide loans, they look at real estate, and they help with building. So either building buildings or bringing in manufactured classrooms. And they assist with all of that process. And another one of our partners is School Print, and they're a nonprofit that provides free services for facility development. So we established a relationship with them right as the grant began, about January, February. But then when we were approached in April, as Superintendent Wallen discussed, we kind of put a pause on that to look into this and to determine if it was going to be if we felt like it was going to be a good partnership. We will need to move forward with them come July. If we don't have anything set with you all, we'll move forward with that partnership for development. So, Superintendent Wallen did outline at the beginning what our request is. We are proposing renting space for $110 per square foot. I know that we have discussed one section of D building, but that is left to your discretion. We just are proposing to have enough space for the number of classrooms that we listed earlier and some office space. So kind of some rationale where we came to the 110 is that that business leases are very specific for schools. Schools are not able to just rent out their space to any business that's out there. And so we went in and looked for similar market value, as in one school that is leasing to another school. In our own town, Payout is the only example that we have. They attempted for about 8 years to find someone that could fill that, I believe it's a 4 classroom space. And they were able to find someone with juvenile probation, but obviously it took a long time, being that there's so much specificity in what can be rented. And they are renting at $1.11 per square foot. And then, being so remote, we have to look quite far to find other examples. We did find ACU Prep does rent from Phoenix Elementary, and they are renting at about 30 cents a square foot with an additional 15 acres of land. So quite varied, but we felt based on that similar market value that $110 per square foot was a reasonable offer to make. I believe this may have been a bit of confusion with what we're asking. The $110 per square foot is specific to facilities. We are willing to discuss at an additional negotiated cost other things. So yes, we would look into other services provided by PUSD, but again, those would be at an additional cost that we can negotiate at a different time, not as part of the $110 per square foot. So this kind of brings us to just kind of with all those facts before you, I just kind of wanted to have an open, honest conversation about why we feel and desire this partnership with PUSD. Speaking from one board to another, we completely understand the pros and cons. When you're looking at a partnership with another school that may feel like a competitor and all of that, we know that that brings up, should we do it? We even had some of the same thoughts ourselves. But in the end, our board came to the conclusion that a partnership between our two entities would greatly benefit our small community and students, much more than creating an atmosphere of competition and opposing directions when we're talking about creating pathways for students. As we looked at the mutual benefits to both PUSD and GCOA, we really believe that establishing and presenting to the community that idea of partnership, and this really being about school choice rather than competition. We recognize that we're a unique model. We're not going to appeal to everyone. We're not trying to, but we do believe that providing a choice for parents and students will allow more students' needs to be met within our district. As stated earlier, we are proposing a K-8 model. So GCOA students will eventually be back in the PUSD system. So having that shared space, we do also feel will be better continuity and flow for those students and increase positive interactions between students at both schools as they do go back together. In addition to the mutual benefits, we also recognize that there are specific direct benefits to PUSD in this partnership that we want to be clear and to offer to you. As we establish our outdoor practices and our experiences, we would love to partner with PUSD and allow for some combined experiences. In a way, we kind of hope that PUSD could view GCOA as a pilot project to see the effects of outdoor learning, outdoor experiential learning on learning and how that impacts learning. And we are always ready to share resources and ideas that we believe benefit all students. We will be needing to create some outdoor spaces, and we are looking for some of that off campus, but we will be needing to create some outdoor spaces such as an outdoor classroom on your campus. We would be willing to allow PUSD to use this space when we are not using it. We are a 4-day school, so we would have Fridays free and possibly other times, and we're more than happy to share that space. And it would also be left as part of the permanent landscape as if we do move on to another area, and that would be created at our cost. Additionally, this would provide a consistent revenue stream for PUSD through the building lease and possibly those additional negotiated costs. To add to that benefit, we would be willing to agree to cap our student enrollment at approximately 200 students while we are in a facility lease agreement with PUSD. So that would, kind of keep us from getting more students, and that per pupil student funding would not be above that approximately 200. As we discussed earlier, you all are limited in your ability to lease out space, and partially because of other businesses bringing in students, bringing in people and how people are allowed to be on your campus. We would have the same vetting process at PUSD. All of our staff is required to have fingerprint clearance cards, and we would be happy to work with your security team to establish any measures for entrance that you see necessary. That's just to name a few of the benefits to both entities of developing that partnership. After years of planning and prepping for the school, we are very excited that we are really seeing the light at the end of the tunnel to bringing this unique model to our community here in Page and the surrounding areas. And we truly hope that we will be able to partner with you and increase those benefits of partnership to our community and students. If you have questions, these are the 4 that are here today that are happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, thank you, Susan. Jim, Amy, or anybody else? Any comments that you'd like to add?
Thanks, Bob. I don't have anything to add. I thought Susan did a great job of providing an overview of what GCOA is about. And I'm just hoping the board sees the same value in that partnership.
Okay, thank you. All right, board members, any comments, questions from the board? Yeah, go ahead, Sandra.
Okay. I wish the charter school every luck there is. I think competition is good. School choice is great. All these good things. My primary concern is the loss in ADM and revenue that we will have. Even at a cap of 200 students, once the charter school is in full swing and they do have 200 students, we're looking at a revenue loss of $2.4 million per year. Now, you know, the rental revenues are in comparison just minuscule. So, and I said that at the work study session, I feel like by doing this and then opening ourselves up to that, we're just going to accelerate our student loss, and by letting them lease space and especially contract for services as well, because putting a school together is a hard job. And if we just allow all these services to contract out that we've established over the years, I just really worry that we're going to accelerate our own student loss, and that is very concerning to me.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I'd just like to add a comment. You know, as a new board member, I've been on for, 4 months now, and I was just reading a website here in Page Unified School District, and we're a small community for sure. And I just want to read what it says here. Board members and Superintendent Wallen, our school Page provides excellent and extensive educational opportunities for our community students, including elementary, middle school, and high school. Also, Page Unified School District is committed to providing students with a positive self-image and multicultural appreciation, quality instructional programs to all students. All students the opportunity to develop academic, linguistic, and social skills at the highest possible level for successful participation in our multicultural society. Navajo language, history, and cultural curriculum to promote cultural understanding and respect. Students need to refine their language acquisition skills can take advantage of the K-12 English and second language program. Language and multicultural oriented programs enhance acquisitions of skills for all students to achieve excellence in exemplary setting. Now, so as board member, I feel it's like a responsibility to me to, be committed to the students and the community here for Page Unified School District. And so, we need to be doing that, providing that for our students that attend Page Unified School District. With a charter school wanting to open up here on campus, there's other charter schools that we have in town as well. So, I think it opens up more opportunities for possibly other charter schools coming to Page, and being such a small community, we need to really focus on our students that are coming here to now, as well as the possibility of losing teachers, and having to reach out to get more teachers to come to Page Unified School District is already a challenge as it is. So I just wanted to put that out.
Okay. All right.
One more thing, Bob.
Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Kidman.
Okay, so I just want to concur with you, Chuck, because I think what we need to remember is that we as board members took an oath to protect Page Unified School District. And as you know, we can talk all day about partnership and all the benefits there are, but at the end of the day, we're looking at millions of dollars in revenue loss. Now, granted, that could happen anyway. Competition's good, but we took an oath to protect our students and our school district, and that includes financial loss. And I just don't think it's a good idea to open that up, as Chuck said.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Yes,
Yes, McCary.
I feel the same way. One of the things that I really have been looking at and all the things that have been said by Sandra and Chuck. If we make this decision without the input of our community, especially students are going to be bussed in, that's a part that I'm very concerned about. And also this year, we had a large turnover of our staff as another one where we're going to be rebuilding, where that we need to really focus what their needs are going to be. And true, even though it's said that the competition is not going to be there, it is. And then the loss of revenues is a really great concern to me.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
to mention the possibility of losing more students to online education, which, you know, we've had a few already, you know, losses with online learning, distant learning, I should say.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll just add a few things because I know starting off, getting to know what public education is and was about, and talking to a lot of friends down in the valley, we wouldn't even be having this conversation because it's such a hot conversation and discussion. But I don't know how many times we've talked about this. These are unprecedented times, and I think unprecedented times certainly have caused me to rethink anything like that. And the other part, what applies somewhere and maybe doesn't apply here, competition. I'm hoping we get more competitive, and that's what we're really shooting for. And I think sometimes those kind of things will stir us even in a maybe even more positive direction. You know, notwithstanding the economic impact, this is happening regardless of what we do. Yes or no tonight, this is happening, and we do have an expectation of loss of revenue. And Ms. Kidman stated very well in terms of what we're losing, in terms of what we'll be getting in terms of revenue. It's a minuscule amount, so money really isn't the issue. So it really gets down to me and thinking the fact that this is our community. These are our kids, whether they're at that private school or that charter, and then the expectation and a good expectation that we're going to get those kids in high school. And this is a small community. And so I think that's really, that's hit me a lot harder, I think, than any of the other conversations, because when this COVID hit, I know I went to Larry Wallen and said, you know, we got to start thinking outside the box about various things, about how we can help the kids. And so, like I said, I've been really conflicted here with one or two hats, but I mean, those are the comments I have. And anyway, any other comments or questions? Yes, Mrs. Fowler.
So I want to go off of facts of what was shared with our school board agenda item packet here. And I'm looking and just kind of going through the applicant background summary. It's very interesting to see. We're true believers and more so about raising our own, growing our own in the school district. And just looking at the presenters and also the list of names that show up on this, you know, yeah, we are one community, but how many of these individuals are coming from Page Unified School District? And then currently, how many of these students that are, you know, currently with Page Unified School District? I mean, that is a concern for me. And Jim Walker, I mean, we've worked hand in hand, you know, for many years. and just the knowledge that you're taken from our school district and utilizing and also growing and implementing and planting a seed into the charter school. So, and I can also say the same for, previous employees that have left the district, but I also can understand and relate. There was a time when I personally fell through the cracks of Page Unified School District and didn't receive the support that I needed. But in reality, I took 3 of my kiddos out of the district, believing that I could do online schooling. That's a lot of work. I understand that. But as an adult, I had to forgive myself, forgive the situation, and ask myself, how do I make this a better change for not just my student, for the community? How can I, as an individual, make that change happen? And I don't understand why. I mean, great, we're talking about partnership, but more so, why are we not having these conversations about how we could better Page Unified School District is my question. Why? I mean, we all have a reason and a purpose. There's also a story behind our why we do the things that we do and we serve in the capacity that we do. So I, have to protect our school district, and I took an oath, and I do represent on behalf of not just, locally here in Page, but more so the children on the reservation, because that's where I currently live, on the reservation. So I'm just, interested to know, maybe so, but maybe not. But my advocacy is for Page Unified School District.
Bob,
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to make a motion and call for a vote. And my motion is to deny the request from the charter school to lease space from the district in the 22-23 school year.
Okay, we have a
I
motion.
second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further conversation, discussion from the board? Okay, having none, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
To deny.
Yeah, to deny. That's the motion. All
Can
in
I
favor
see
to deny.
hands? I
Yes.
can't see. Okay. Bob, what did you vote? To go to deny? Okay.
It's
Thank you.
unanimous.
All right. So thank you very much. And again, Jim, Amy, and Susan, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Next item on the agenda, it is the Page High School Closed Campus Lunch. This is an action item, and I'll need a motion in a second. And the motions are down at the bottom for you, A or B, and whoever wants to propose a motion.
I make a motion to discuss the agenda item, closed campus lunch.
Discuss with possible action.
Discuss with a possible action. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. I have a second.
I second that motion.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Okay, Superintendent Wallen and Ann Martin.
And I believe it'll actually be Brian Henderson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brian's here in place of Ms. Martin. Just at our study session, we approached this Page High School closed campus and provided you information. The bottom line is it's about safety and safety of our students. And so it's very, very difficult to weigh that against the great comments you heard from students. Earlier, I believe you heard about 5 comments read into the record, and that is totally awesome. However, times have changed. We're coming out of COVID. We're moving into a new direction, and we are of the mind that it would be in our students' best interest to close the campus. We have about 1,000 kids that are bused in who will not have any vehicles. So how do they get, if they want to go off campus, they have to walk, or what I understand is they generally jump in with someone else. And so you may have 4 or 5 or 6 kids riding in a vehicle going down to campus. And so those are some of the things. The issue is safety. The bottom line is safety. So with that, Mr. Henderson may have something he wants to say.
Thank you, and good evening, board president, members of the board, and Page Unified School District community. Really, Mr. Wallen has summed it up concisely and perfectly. This is ultimately about safety. I know that students really enjoy the privilege to exit campus for lunch, and they, by and large, have earned that freedom. However, when it really comes down to how can we keep our students safely supervised, a closed campus is the most effective and efficient way to do that.
Board members, any comments or questions? Well, I'll just state just my thought on it. And I appreciate the comments, and it was good to hear from our students for sure. And very, very sympathetic to that freedom that you have to get off campus and various things like that. I know that we shouldn't be considering past issues, how things have gone. The one thing I would have liked, I guess, a little bit better was, I know in the past we did a survey of really the whole our stakeholders and our community and various things like that, and that came on the heels of a death that we experienced to one of our kids at the high school. It happened to be on a lunchtime, and so that's always stayed with me because I was one of the coaches on the team the kid was on, and it always hit me hard. Can you prevent everything by locking things down? Well, you can't, that's for sure. But the other thing that I keep thinking about is that, this closed campus situation, it's really, if we have it, if we don't have a closed campus, it's a privilege. It's not a right for a student. And I think we have it, whatever the decision is made here, have it in our power to make sure that the kids realize it's a privilege, and the boundaries are placed on that in terms of behaviors and various things like that. I think that's at our disposal if we can utilize that kind of thing. So anyway, like I said, last time I voted against an open campus, and like I said, I'm up in the air with this one. I like what students are saying and the comments that I have been hearing and the latitude that folks want. And choice is always an opportunity. But in addition to that, I really realize the responsibility we have to provide a safe haven for kids when they get on the bus at 5 or 6 in the morning and they're dropped off, and moms and dads, grandpas and grandpas want to see their kids safely back off of that bus when they get out and about to our various communities and stuff like that too. So I'll just make that comment. Anybody have a comment? Or yeah, Mr. Chuck.
All right. I just want to say that, I've had a lot of time to think about this as well, and over the years, and I feel that we should continue to keep open lunch here in Page. The reason is that, number one, we need more parent involvement. If we have the parent involvement here and we teach our kids responsibilities, as they progress from elementary up to high school, their attitude, their behavior, and their level of responsibility will reflect, and that's what we need to be teaching. You have more responsibility students, teaching them responsibility, and as far as time management, right? It teaches them time management. Number one, how to utilize their time, and prepares them, for after high school when they go into college. It gives them that experience. Also, that I don't think that the administrators here at Page School should have to be like parents. That's the job of the parents to teach. And if the parents don't want their kids to go off campus, then they just need to make sure that happens, and talk to their students, as far as the choices the kids have. Page, the schools offer lunch indeed, and if parents don't feel that their kids should go off campus for any reason, then that's what's available. but I still think that, it provides a lot of opportunity for students to experience the realities and of, freedom and how to be responsible. Also, it's going to benefit the community, of course, for kids spending money out there in town. But just like I said, using the managing their time, or even especially for those students that prefer to go home and eat lunch at home. But it also gives them that break away from school, and to reflect, like some of these students have mentioned. So that's all I had to say about it.
Okay.
I have a
Stella?
question. How many students currently live in Page that do go home during lunches compared to how many are riding in on the buses, Mr. Henderson?
I apologize. I don't have that information for you. I don't know. Based on last year when we had an open campus, I know that the majority of students did leave campus, whether they drove or walked on foot. But I can tell you any numbers just off the top of my head.
Okay. I do want to share with the board, one of the things that's so unique about our community is that, a few years ago, prior to the hit of Horseshoe Bend being a hit, social media, tourism used to be a summer seasonal, but now it's year round. So the problem that I have, going back to the safety of our students, is when you have tourists that don't exactly know where they're going and don't even have a clue to XYZ from going from point A to B, and they just stop right in the middle of the road, or they do the craziest things. Yeah, because of COVID, there's not much happening with traffic here in town. But in reality, we also need to think outside the box and plan down the road, once, Antelope Canyons open back up, now Navajo Nation opens back up their tourism. What impact is that going to do to our community? I understand we need to stand locally with our community and support our community, but in reality, we need to also be responsible for our students as well too, and the safety of our students, especially in that very short time. And it's just a matter of seconds. Anything could happen. So I just want our board members to be conscious, and also, just safety for me is always a priority, especially when it comes to kids. And if you put one student in a vehicle to drive, yay. But when you have a group of students, of course, in a vehicle or any situation, sometimes, it's not always, silly things happen, all I'm going to say. But I just want safety, going back to safety being a priority.
Thank you. Ms. McCary?
I just wanted to add that what Chuck said regarding, students making some responsible, decisions. And we can't continue to hold their hands all the time. And this is the start. And I think my question during our planning meeting, I had mentioned that there was a book that came out from the study. I don't know, Mr. Henderson, whether you got your hand on it or not, to find out what, decisions were based on. And right now it's more of a choice. And nothing has been said about parent surveys. And the comments that we got also, that was given to us in regard to many of the parents, are wanting that choice to have their students come home for lunch.
Thank you. Ms. Kidman, you have anything?
Actually, I do. I'm going to recuse myself from this vote, and I'm going to explain my dilemma to you. My dilemma is the following. Closed lunch is actually good for my business. And you're going to say, why? What? because when students are standing in a line in my business, they spend a few dollars and the adults go running somewhere else. This last year with COVID and no open lunch, I've been able to, increase my adult lunch. So I cannot in good conscience vote for closing campus. As a parent and business owner, if I vote for keeping lunch open, then people are going to say she's doing it because she wants more business. So you see my dilemma. So I'm going to recuse myself from this vote entirely, which I have done the last 2 times, even though the lawyer explained to me that I don't have to, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Understandable. Thank you, Ms. Kidman. All right, any further conversation, discussion?
I just wanted to ask one more question. Do we have like a ratio of how many students eat at lunch in class or at school, and then how many, or estimate of how many that go off campus for lunch?
No, I don't have the numbers from 2 years ago of how many students
No
remained
parent
on campus.
survey,
to
no
eat.
student survey.
Right.
Okay. That's
I
all.
do know that just anecdotally, a large majority of our students did leave campus on a daily basis for lunch, but I don't have any cafeteria numbers to show you what their average daily serving was.
Mhm.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
You did start off by saying a survey, and I think that survey needs to happen because we're asking questions, but we're not getting the answers that we need. And I feel like Page High School needs to be very responsible, in getting things out. And we did, I believe somebody did ask at the last board meeting about a survey. And I think it is important that we get all student voice and parent voices to address this concern. And it is, going back to our students, it is important to have a voice from our students and to hear from our students and parents, especially if it is the safety. If we want to get parent involvement and students, the responsibility for students, this is the approach to take.
Okay. All right, any other comments? Well, hearing where we're at this point, I'll go ahead and make a motion to keep the high school campus open for lunch, and then ask for a survey, and then maybe a reconsideration after the first semester. Would that work? So that's my motion.
I second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further comments? Superintendent Wallen, would you like to comment on that?
No, that's your motion. Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Henderson.
Can you just put
Thank you
down for the record that I recused myself, please?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that
I
is
made
part of the
that
record.
note, yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
I just can't see you over there, so thank you.
I can hardly wait if we get to item K. Anyway, let's go to item J. I believe that's the next on our agenda, athletic and extracurricular fee for 2021, 2022. This is an action item. And again, it includes the fee schedule. So action item will need a motion in a second. And it's written down there for you if someone wants to make that motion.
I make a motion that the governing board approve the athletic and extracurricular fee schedule for 21-22 school year.
Thank you.
I second that motion.
Very, very good. Thank you very much.
And
We have
approve, sorry. We need the motion
Oops.
to,
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
And let me start all over. I'm sorry. I make a motion to approve the athletic and extracurricular fee for 21-22 school year and the Page Unified School District fee schedule for that same year. Sorry, should have said the
Thank
whole
you very
thing
much.
earlier.
Thank you,
Apologize.
Ms. Hoffman.
I second that motion.
We have a motion in second. Ms. Vindi Warhande, this is yours.
Mr. President, governing
Yes,
board members, and Superintendent Wallen. There are a couple of changes for this fiscal year 2022 fee schedule. That's that athletic fee and the extracurricular fee went up from $25 to $30. And also, as you approved middle school and high school athletic and extracurricular fees for non-PUSD students would be at $500. And if you all have any questions for me, those are the highlighted changes we'll have for this fiscal year 22.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Verhendi? I think we're good. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you so much. Item K, return to open public board meeting. This is an action, I'll call it an action item, and I want a motion in a second. And there's a motion written down there for you if you would want to read that.
I make a motion to return to open meeting beginning with July 13, 2021 meeting.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All right, this is board members, conversation, discussion, comments.
I would like to say a few things to that. When you, I guess I have a question. Does that mean that you're discontinuing Zoom meetings? When you
Yes,
go into in-person?
This will be a return to normal. Yes.
Okay, so I'm opposed to that for several reasons. Like I said last time, I think we need to do a hybrid where we can allow people in, but we also sit up here and just have our cameras on and stream live for people who either are uncomfortable coming in person. And also, as I said last time, we talk about community involvement, we talk about parental involvement, making it so that people can listen at home rather than having to attend the meeting makes it so that people can be a lot more involved. Like I said last time, you can do your dishes while you're listening to a board meeting. You can do your laundry and you can actually know what's going on. And there was a few people who said that, oh, well, it's going to be too hard. Well, I feel like we asked our teachers to do that. We asked our teachers to be in a hybrid model and situation. So we're only dealing with our own screen. We're not dealing with 30 people. So I think it would be not too much to ask of us to have a hybrid model for the in-between time till we can acquire the technology to stream our meetings. Because I think that it will help our community to be more involved by knowing what's going on. And I actually embrace the new scrutiny and accountability that we're faced with. I think we should move forward that way because I think people will be questioning why we don't allow a hybrid model and what we're, I just think we really should do both, allow people in person and stream our meetings.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other comments, questions? I mean, personally, I want us to get back to normal if at all possible. And tonight we were 45 minutes or 30 minutes or some minutes late, and people have opportunity to come to the boardroom. We get to see them, and I want to see people, and they don't have to wait to see board members. They can come in and see us and talk, and then those kind of things. So that's just my opinion.
Okay, Bob, I'm totally in favor of letting people come into the
No, I
board
understand.
meeting.
I heard you.
Totally in favor.
And
But I don't want to give up Zoom live streaming at
heard
the
you.
same time.
Thank you very much.
Just
Appreciate
want
it.
to clarify. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Bob. I think that we need to come back in person like we were doing prior. And I believe we did have a system in place. There was a camera there and everything did stream, at a later time live or not live, but a recording that was also added to the YouTube channel as well too. But we do need to get back into reality and technology problems. We shouldn't have to wait X amount of minutes just because we can't all get, or one person or two can't get logged in. And that just goes to show that we need to keep to our time designated for our board meetings at 5 o'clock.
Okay, thank you, Chuck. Did you have something, Chuck?
I just agree with everybody else. I agree.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's all.
Okay, McCary?
Yeah, I coalescent with what Desi said.
Okay. All right. So yes, Sandra.
Can I clarify? So if I vote yes on this item, does that mean we're still gonna have YouTube screaming? I mean,
The open meetings,
Desiree,
you vote,
said,
if you
you
vote
said-
yes, the meeting will not be in hybrid. It'll be open meeting. And I don't know, you were referring to a recording that was made that was put on. Is that still being done?
I think what is happening, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, before we used to record the meeting and then
Use it for minutes.
Board Docs has the ability to post the video to its website along next to the agenda. And that's what we were doing before. Our camera up here currently, it has not been working. And when it did work, it was very poor quality. We are getting a new camera. It has been ordered. I don't know that it's here yet. It was ordered in conjunction with all the other cameras that we've been upgrading throughout the district. And the plan is to be able to do that again. The quality will be much better than what we had before. And again, we'll post it to the agenda on the website, Board Docs website, in the place designated for the videos.
Okay, good.
But they won't be live though. I mean, they're not live. They're posted after the fact.
Right. Okay.
So can I have
Any
one more
further
question?
clarification?
Yeah. So when do you expect that to happen? Like, are we talking about weeks? Are we talking about months?
Honestly, I can't tell you. I know that the cameras, most of them have come in. I don't know if this one has come in yet or not. I just know that it's in the works is all I've been told.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, we do have a motion on the floor and a second for that motion. And when I call for the vote, it's going to, it's recommended the governing board return to open meetings with no other stipulation beginning July the 13th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Thank you very much.
Was that I'm sorry, can I just get clarification? Was that a 4-1? Or so
I voted yes on in-person meetings.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
I still would like hybrid. Just gonna say that.
Thank you. Item L, let's go to revised 2021-2022 school year calendar. This is an action item. Need a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve the revised calendar for the 2021-2022 school year.
I second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion in a second. Dr. Maurer.
Governing Board President Candelaria, Governing Board members, Mr. Wallen, community. So I'm bringing the calendar back as we've updated many of the processes in the Page Unified School District over the past couple of months. One thing that has come out is that first Sage and Sand Virtual Academy has graduated students. And when this calendar was originally presented, that was not even a school for the Page Unified School District. So we're adding some things to the back of the calendar that represents where we're at now. And then in the context of our 11-month and 10-month employees, we're seeing that through the payroll running and through the way we set up the calendars, we are actually a day short. So we're moving back the start date for those groups of employees. We'll communicate with them the start date change, and this will bring the calendar along with the start dates for our employees back into what we've had traditionally. This doesn't impact our 12-month, it doesn't impact our teachers, it doesn't impact our students. This is just a name change for most of the highlighted parts in the back, and then a few date changes that correspond with the new governing board calendar. So then that way we're not overlapping dates, and then starting our employees a little earlier to make sure that they have the appropriate amount of days in their work calendar.
Okay, thank you. Any comments, board members? Does it all look good? Ms. Kidman, you okay with the calendar? Great, thank you. All right, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you so much. Item M, Governing Board Meeting Calendar for 2021, 2022. This is an action item. We'll need a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve the governing board meeting calendar for the 2021-2022 school year.
Okay. Need a second?
That motion.
Okay, thank you very much. Board members, you see that calendar. Any comments or questions? Pretty clear, right? To when we got our meetings and those kind of things. Law conferences listed in there, a lot of different things as well. So any comments or questions? Okay, I have a motion and a second. I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye, thank you so much.
I think that the calendar looks amazing to whoever put this calendar together. Thank you. It's got a lot of great.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. All right, future agenda items. Anyone have something in the future? As usual, you can, if you think of something that you want to have on an agenda item, work study session, or various things, we can get with myself or Lynn, Superintendent Wallen. And if you have something right now you'd like to bring up, Mr. Wise.
I'd like to review the PBIS system, just go over that.
Good. Okay. So
Well,
we can
Lynn, can I also add the ESSER update as well?
Okay. All right. And anybody else? Yes, go ahead, Ms. Kidman.
Yeah, don't forget me over here. I'm like
No, I see it. I don't have
I'm
my
an
glasses
exile
on.
over here.
We put you on a different island.
Yeah, you did. I noticed that.
Yeah.
So I have three things. First of all, I didn't see any adjacent way discussions and tax revenues.
Oh, on the next work study.
Huh?
That will probably be on the June 22nd when the proposed budget is rolled out. That should be in that.
Should be on there. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Because I know on occasions we have forgotten to do it in June and then it's too late. And we are always in desperate need of adjacent way funds. So, okay. So when did you say to expect that, June?
June 22nd, there will be a public hearing and then a special meeting in the work study.
Okay, great. Then also I would like a report or some kind of the district's financial priorities. I know we've talked about it a little bit a few months ago in March when we talked about attrition and but I would like to see an update on that because I think we have been able, I mean, as far as I'm aware, what was it in Mr. Wallen's report? Over $1.2 million through attrition have been saved. So I would like to see an update on how that's going and where we're going. And then what our actual priorities are for the next year and beyond. And then, so that's what I would like to see. And then Bob, at one point you promised the teachers a few meetings ago that they would have access to the board, and I've been waiting to see that happen. Is that in the works?
Are you talking about meetings with the superintendent or what?
No, you mentioned at the board meeting when you read, well, you didn't read the letter, you paraphrased it, that the teachers would have access to the board to express their concerns. Is that not happening?
And I don't know exactly what specifically you're addressing because I do remember a letter from a teacher that was a comment letter, and I did summarize a group of letters, and I did meet specifically with that teacher that had a list of 18 to 20 teachers on it, and the biggest issue was communication. I went ahead and got with Superintendent Wallen beforehand, said I'm going to meet with this teacher, said fine, and the result of the conversation was just more communication. And he at that point then opened up the meetings to, I think, was it Larry, the PEA discussions on a weekly or weekly basis?
Before the business meeting, we were meeting with the Page Educational Association, but we took that meeting, opened it up to everyone that could attend. So we had lots of different people attend those meetings. And then we went to twice a month instead of once a month.
And that was open to all the teachers.
All staff.
Okay, all staff. So that was the step that was taken. You see some other need that we need to address?
I just wanted to follow up on that because
Yeah.
I guess I didn't see it happening.
Okay.
And so I guess if you went and talked to those teachers or one teacher in particular.
Right,
So-
and the one that wrote the letter on behalf of about
Okay.
20. And again, I asked Superintendent Wall if I could meet with them just to see what the concerns were. And so that was literally the result of it. So it wasn't a formal through the board. So
Okay.
it was,
So would it
And-
then be appropriate for me to say I would like to meet with that teacher as well? Because, different people get different impressions.
yeah,
So-
absolutely. I mean, I know our board protocols, we go through Superintendent Wall, and if we're going to meet with teachers and various things like that, and then, and then I was very careful also to let the principal of the building know, because it's time away. And so
Mhm.
wanted to make it a convenient thing, not something I was going to interrupt class time or anything like that. But yeah, absolutely. Just go
Okay,
through.
okay, sounds good. I'll get with Mr. Wallen then.
Perfect.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, you bet. Okay, anything else, folks? Yeah, Chuck.
To add on the PBIS, I'd like to get more information, data, supporting facts on whether PBIS is working or not working.
Sure.
That's the information I'd like to get and go over that. Also, what are we doing as far as, I know I talked to Mr. Wallen about this previously before about parent involvement and what are we doing? What is the school doing to ensure more parent involvement with teachers and students?
Yeah, good. Okay, anybody else? Okay, I think that's, we come to item 10.
I make a motion to adjourn at 7:22 p.m.
Second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Board members, thank you. And thank you to those who have joined with us this evening. Thank you all.